Thank you so much for coming to Active Yoga Basics today. We're going to start standing like we always do. So just take a moment to look down at your feet, make sure they're about hip width distance. If you're not sure what that's meaning in your body today, maybe you're a little bit sore, take two fists next to each other and just take your time bending down and placing those fists down in between your big toes. And that way you just start off with a good base from the get-go. So you're building from the ground up, two fists in between the big toes, and then come back up to standing when you're ready. Let your arms relax down by your sides and just take a moment to roll your shoulders up and back, letting them settle. So back to your feet, lift up your toes, try to spread them out wide and place them back down on your mat. Engage your core a little bit and then shift your weight to your toes, begin to lift up your heels. And then bring your heels down, lifting up your toes. So forwards and backwards at your own pace. I normally start by lifting one heel, then the other, and then I'll lift both if I feel comfortable. If you feel like you might fall, don't risk it. Have something near you you could hold on to, or something close to you in case you did fall, you could catch yourself. All right, so when it starts to feel like those muscles are turning on in your legs and your calves, take a moment to move those muscles side to side. So roll to the outer edge of your left foot. You can think of stretching the skin over the top of the foot, down the side of the foot. That's my experience anyway. And then over to the other side. If it feels good, repeat this multiple times. Maybe you take the weight towards your big toe mounds. If this hurts your knee or knee joints in any way, don't do it. Maybe you find a little flow here that works for you. So that could be forwards, backwards, left to right. Could just be forwards and backwards, right? This is your practice. Not everything is for everyone all the time, right? Sometimes we wake up and we just feel like we're a little bit crunchier than usual. So you may choose to take things a little bit differently in class if that's how you're feeling. When you're ready, begin to settle. Lift up all those toes again. Now see if you can spread them out a little bit wider and place them down on your mat. Find the four corners of both of your feet. So press down from the big toe mounds and the outer edges of your heels, your little toe mounds and the inner edges of your heels, and just wiggle those four corners a little bit. You'll feel it in the thighs. Kind of feels like work. And then let them settle. Bend the knees, just a little awkward, soft bend in your knees. And think about where your tailbone is. If your tailbone feels like it's lifting up behind you, you might have to take your hands to your hips, tuck your tailbone under. So from wherever you are, engage from the core. It starts in the pelvic floor. Pelvic floor lifts in and up. Belly button towards your spine. Ribs lift away from your hips, and it feels exaggerated lifting up your chest. And then roll those shoulders up and back a few more times, holding all of that other vertical alignment. Then let them settle. Now from that awkward bend in your knees, think about engaging your thighs, lifting them above your kneecaps. This might shift your balance a little. And then come back to your center. So aware of your jaw, bring it back just a little bit. And you might have to take your hand to your chin to push it back. Deep breath in, reach up through the center of the top of your head. And a slow breath out. Try to feel grounded as you exhale. And again, inhale, stand up a little taller, close your eyes. And try to feel grounded on your exhale. If it's a part of your practice, palms together, center of your chest, Anjali Mudra. You could take this time for silence. You could create an intention for your practice. It's completely personal. Take a full breath in and a slow breath out. Begin to open up your eyes, interlace your fingers and place them underneath your chin. Try to hold this compression the whole time between the chin and the fingers. Then look up towards your ceiling. Create a loud ha sound like you're getting all the old air out of your lungs. At the same time, elbows move towards each other. Inhale, level your chin, lift up your elbows. Exhale, head back, loud ha sound, squeeze in the core, squeeze your elbows in. Inhale, level your chin, lift up your elbows. Think of lifting the core up. Exhale, head back, loud ha sound. Elbows touch when breathless. At your own pace, inhale. Keep the shoulders down, lifting your elbows up. Exhale, head back. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, slow it down. Pull in your belly button, then take in an extra sip at the top. Exhale, head back. And release your arms back down to your mountain pose. Wiggle it out anytime you feel like you need to. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, release your index fingers, cross at your thumbs, and then just begin to move a little bit side to side. Now, you know, there's lots of options here. So maybe those hands need to be at your hips. Maybe you already you already like having your feet close together. Maybe hands at heart center, right? If we really felt like we needed to stabilize our backs, we could do this with the hands at the lower back. Okay, so lots of options. Then you can always do one arm overhead at a time. So when you feel good, reaching from side to side, if you wanted to add a little more, just add that forwards and backwards flexion, lifting up the chest to draw the elbows back. You want to feel this more in the front of the body than the back of your body. And then when you reach your arms forward, that's where you feel it more in the back of the body. Draw one hip back, then the other. And maybe you take some circles around the waist. You know, different hand placements will allow for these variations to move the body in different ways. And then come back to your center. So if you haven't already, toe heel those feet in, unless it hurts, then separate the feet. And then we'll find the 4 corners of the feet, engage your thighs and glutes. Zip up from your core. On your inhale, try to reach up with your shoulders down. With your exhale, stretch up and over to your right. So up, find space, and then over to the right. We're finding a stretch here between the ribs and the hips, which if you're tight, you might start to feel a little twisty. You might have the hips going back in one direction, maybe the shoulders could be moving forward, you know, so just be aware of what your body is telling you. If your body is coming out of alignment in this shape, then bring the hands closer towards the body, kind of untwist the body first, and then as you find that range of motion, extend through the arms. If you feel good here, biceps by the ears, draw them back. With your inhale, reach up a little more. Exhale, maybe you take it over. Then pull in the core strong. Inhale, back up. Find some length, maybe a little wiggles to stretch, and then over to the left. So we stretch between the ribs and the hips. And I always say, if you're tight here, you're going to feel it a little bit more. So don't create an injury trying to feel if you don't feel anything. That's okay. It's totally possible you may not have any sort of issues there, giving you sensations of tightness. So we ground from the feet, strong from the core, lifting up from the chest, shoulders down. Deep breath in, exhaling to reach. Belly button in, pelvic floor up. Inhale back to your center. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Separate your feet hip width distance. Hands at your lower back, elbows in. If we need a little bit more stability in the spine and the lower back and hips today, put a block in between the thighs or in between your feet. It will offer you some resistance. All right, so those elbows are going to squeeze in towards each other. From your core, from your feet, with your inhale, lift up your chest. With your exhale, stay here and work on bringing the elbows in. Or if you feel good, keep the weight in your heels, but shift your hips forward. Hips forward, weight in your heels. Engage your glutes, protect your lower back. No reason not to engage your glutes here. Elbows in to lift up your chest. Inhale, back up. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Let it go. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, however you want to get them there. And with your exhale, fold however you like. You know, it could be hands through heart center, could be more supported with your hands walking down your legs. Once you get down there, it could take you a while. Put a nice bend in the knees. Once your lower back starts to release, grab opposite elbows. Let your head be heavy. This could be called ragdoll sometimes in yoga. That is obviously not the original term. So we're just going to call it a forward fold, grabbing opposite elbows. If you feel good here, try engaging your core a little more, shifting the weight towards the toes now. And maybe you but maybe you sway a little bit left and right. And you might just stay here. If you'd like to add your shoulder opener, hands towards your lower back, interlace your fingers, knuckles reach up and then overhead. And you could do this with something in between your hands to give you more space. It doesn't matter what that thing is in between your hands. If you choose something like a belt, just make sure you know where that buckle is. Enough times that you will definitely hit yourself in the face with a buckle. Speak from experience. So take a big breath in. And with your exhale, bring your hands down towards the floor. If your hands don't reach, use your blocks. And then lower your hips down. Chin towards your chest. Where are your shoulders? If they're up by your ears, bring them down. From here, just take a moment to breathe into this ball shape, into this compression. And then look a little forward and lift and lower your heels. And remember, if that seems crazy, skip it. Don't hurt yourself to try to be in a particular shape. But if you just need a little space, use your blocks. If this feels terrible on your feet, you could try on a pillow or on a blanket. And then make your way back to your fold. So take one of those blocks that you have and bring it to the center of your feet. So in between your feet and then forward. So that when we lean forward and we place the left hand down to start today, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder will all line up, okay? So we'll bend both knees, then bend the left knee more with your inhale twist, reaching the right arm up. So it could be that you reach the arm forward, flip the palm and up. It could be that your body just allows you to uncurl, reaching the right arm up. Or you may have to reach the right arm back and up, right? We have different ranges of mobility and different ways that we can get into these shapes. But once you are in this shape, you want to make sure the shoulder's back in its socket. You're pressing the chest forward and spinning from the torso, not so much from the hips. We want to press the hip back. So wherever you are, big breath in, exhale and twist, and release back to your fold. Take your time to unwind. Let your head be heavy. And there's no rush to the other side. When you're ready, right hand grounds. Bend both knees. Bend your right knee more. Inhale to twist, left arm up. And there's different arm placements. You know this. It could be more of a half bind. Could be more stability with the hand at the lower back. And then the focus is more on opening through the shoulder. Always options. So left hip draws back. What's going on with those toes? You might be favoring one side of the foot or the other. With your inhale, find a little space. Exhale, moving into it. And release back to your fold. Hands to your shins or to your blocks. If you're using blocks, set them up at the top of your mat. Walk forward if you need to. Inhale to lengthen. When we lengthen through the spine, we want a flat spine the best we can. That doesn't mean looking forward and leading with the chin. That means looking down and sliding the shoulders back and possibly spinning your elbows in. Bend your knees, pick up your right foot, point your toes straight back, and step your right foot back into a lunge. I sometimes have to bring my left foot forward. For years and years, I've had to do that. And then lower the right knee down. If this hurts anywhere between the knee and the ankle, try using like a little pillow. These little pillows that you might have just around your house can be very awesome for just a little bit of padding underneath the places that you might wake up and are sore randomly, okay? So we don't want to injure ourselves. We want to support ourselves so we can practice longer. When you have your lunge, lift up your chest, press your right hip forward and down. Deep breath in. Exhale to your half splits. Flex your left foot. It's okay if that leg does not straighten, but walk the blocks back towards you to help you sit up a little bit taller. And then move through some nerve glides, pointing and flexing. Point and flex. Flex your foot, engage your core. Inhale to your lunge. In your lunge, try to identify your right hip point, pressing forward and then sliding down. Press down from the big toe of your left foot. Deep breath in. Exhale, half splits. Now check in with your hips. It can be easy to just slide one hip back because you might be manipulating a stretch in your leg, but try to keep the hips square instead. One more time. Inhale to your lunge. Exhale to your half splits. If you'd like depth here, you want to move a little deeper. Elbows in, lift up your chest and hinge forward. Remember to bring that chin back into alignment. Inhale back to your lunge. Tuck your back toes, lifting your back knee off your mat. Now look a little bit forward and hover your right knee down. Find one point of focus. With your inhale, lift your right leg, flex your foot. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, pick up your left foot, point your toes straight back, and step back into your lunge. Take your time lowering your back knee down. I don't know if you caught that, but I did not have to bring the right foot forward on this side like I had to on the left side. So some kind of weird little connector thing that just happens in the brain. We're working on it, aren't we? All right, so with your hands close to under your shoulders, lift up your chest. Take a big breath in. Exhale, half splits, flex your right foot. Take those blocks with you. Move through some nerve glides when you're ready. So any indication of pulling, a little rubber bandy feeling, like the little rubber band that you have in your hands that's going to break because it's brittle. That could be a similar sensation in the back of the knee when you're getting into a problem. So if you ever feel that way, definitely back off. Flex your foot, engage your core. Inhale back to your lunge. Left hip forward, then slides down. Exhale back to your half splits. One more time. Inhale to your lunge. Exhale, half split. So again, if you like to add a bit of depth here, could be a totally different situation for you on this side. Maybe it's more accessible. Slide the shoulders back, elbows in, and hinge forward. Inhale to your lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee up off your mat. Looking forward, strong through your core. Hover your left knee. Inhale, lift your left leg, flex your foot. Exhale and forward fold. Take your hands to your feet somewhere. So that could be peace fingers around your big toes. Hands underneath the feet for more of a gorilla pose. Hands under the sides of the feet. Heels of the feet, right? There's so many ways to do yoga. You could take your hands behind the back of your legs as well. With your inhale, lift up your chest. Exhale and pull your upper body down. Slide your shoulders back, elbows in, and then shift your weight to your toes to help you lift up your hips. And you could even think of spinning the thighs inwards to help you lift your hips even more. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Hands to your shins. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale and fold. Chin to your chest. Roll up slowly. Okay, so if you need to take a break, you need water, you need to rethink your whole day, now's a good time for that. We're ready to move into our warrior step out practice. And I'll be teaching from the right corner of my mat. So I'll be cueing to step out to the left. If you need to do things the other way around, just please keep track of your left and right, okay? So mountain pose from the right side of my mat. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale and kick your left foot out on purpose. Like you're stepping it down to ground and you feel really sturdy when you bring that left foot down. And if you don't, that's okay. That's just how you want to try to feel one day. Arms out to a T shape. Now, you know, if the arms aren't out, being isn't a good thing for you. Hands to the hips, hands to heart center, okay? Or maybe, you know, something even better for you than that. Find a little movement through the shoulders. Now, if you're standing and your legs are similar to mine right now, make sure you're not crunching through the toes. Engage your thighs and lift up out of your lower back. And if your arms are moving in one direction, reverse them in the other direction. Drawing from the core. All right, so shoulders back. Inhale to lift up your chest. Exhale and hinge forward. Core stays strong. If we need more support, it's hands at the hips as we lower. And then hands down to something. Grab blocks if you need to. And begin to just move those hips a little side to side. Open up the hips further. Widen your stance if your range of motion allows for it. And then come back to your center, turning your toes in. Grab one of those blocks and bring it out in front of you, just like we did in our twist earlier, except now our legs are wider. And we're going to start on the right hand instead of the left side. So ground your right hand down. You know, you have options to create a fist or not use a block or use 7 blocks, whatever you need. With your inhale, twist, send your left arm up. Weight towards your toes. Right shoulder under. Lifting up and twisting from the torso. One more breath in. Exhale back to your fold. And we'll switch it out. Left hand ground. Shift your weight forward with your inhale. Twist. Ooh, crunchy on this side today. All right. So spin the thighs inwards. Left shoulder open under. Right shoulder rolls back, but both shoulders stay down away from your ears. One more breath in. Exhale back to your fold. All right, move your block out of the way to keep it close and take your peace fingers around your big toes. If you're thinking no way, then just grab onto whatever you can grab onto. With your inhale, lift halfway. Exhale and pull your upper body down, elbows out, shoulders away from your ears. And when you slide the shoulders back, you'll feel the chest press forward. That can get lost in translation though, because you're technically upside down. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release hands to the floor. Inhale, lift halfway. Engage the core. Ground your feet. Arms out to a T shape. Inhale up. Arms reach up overhead. Bend your right knee. Right foot steps over to the left. Exhaling back to your mountain pose. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, big step out to the right. Arms out to a T shape or other. Widen your stance if you need to. Pivot your right foot to the right. Left foot turns in just a bit. And then bend and straighten your right leg. So we're settling into our warrior two. So notice your arms. If you have them extended out, try to keep them level, shoulders down, biceps in, reaching through the fingertips. We have a tendency to kind of begin to tilt or just let the hands hang out. So if you struggle with that, bring the focus to pressing the fingertips into each other and lifting the chest. That might help you. All right, so vision off the middle finger of the right hand. Right knee is tracking open. Core is engaged. Ground from those feet with your inhale. Lift up your chest. Exhale and sit a little deeper. Inch your foot forward to widen your stance anytime you need to. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. All right, we're going to switch it up today. You ready? Straighten the right leg. Reach from your right fingertips and bring the right hand down to either the inside of the right leg, not your knee. Just think of like a big old sound anytime you're near the knee. You could have the hand on the inside of the thigh. One of my favorites is to have a block on the inside of the right foot. Sometimes it's taught on the outside. Do what you're most comfortable with. Left arm up when you're ready. So triangle pose, Trikonasana. Right hip under, left hip open. Maybe you look up. If your neck doesn't want to move, don't force it. It's a lot going on here. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. All right, so ground from your feet and squeeze your thighs, squeeze your glutes. Look down with your inhale, reverse. Right arm up, left arm back. Nothing changes in the legs. Deep breath in. Exhale, back to your warrior two. Straighten your right leg, pivot your toes. We'll move to the other side. So left toes open, right toes in. Go ahead and just shift your block over. That might be too far. We'll see if I can reach. So shoulders down, lifting up your chest. Take a big breath in. Exhale and settle down into your warrior two. Tailbone down, lower belly in and up. Where's your one point of focus? In Sanskrit, it's called a drishti. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Straighten your left leg. When you do that, you want to feel it move up into the hip joint. Little compression there. Not compression for pain, just compression like it fits, a puzzle piece that's fitting. Reach forward, use your core. And when you're ready, left hand down, right arm up. So if you're maybe having a Ashtanga practice, you're going to be wanting to do this differently. So don't feel like you have to do it this way, as long as you're comfortable the way that you were perhaps taught how to do it. Okay, so left hip under, right hip open, reach up from the fingertips, and you're active through the hands not just hanging out, but you're reaching through the fingertips. Press down from the left hand, reach up from the right, round from your feet. Look down towards the floor with your inhale, reverse, use the core muscles, the power of your legs to bring yourself up. And then we stretch through the left fingertips. Squeeze the thighs, pelvic floor lifts, breathing in. Exhale, back to your warrior two. Straighten your left leg again, pivot your toes, shorten your stance. You may have to kick your block out of the way. Arms up overhead, bend your left knee. Inhale, left foot meets the right. Exhale, arms by your sides. Okay, so I hope that you like that little switch up today with triangle. Feel free to ask any questions about it after class. We'll move into our progression through eagle, which we started last week with our chair pose. So guess what? We're going to do that again. Okay, so chair pose for backs hurting, or if we just want to be more careful, more therapeutic in the body, please, please, please give yourself a chance with this block. I'm going to check that chat in just a second, or actually at the end of class, okay? All right, so a block in between the thighs. Reach your arms out in front of you to begin. If this is already too much, hands to heart center, it's no problem. Take a big breath in. And with your exhale, bend your knees and lower your hips down. Now, when you lower your hips down, turn to the side. Try not to flare your butt up in the air and bring your upper body down. Try to tuck your tailbone, lower your butt down, and lift up your chest, shoulders back. And remember, hands at heart center is a great option too. So deep breath in, slow breath out. Press down from the feet with your inhale, come up. For our second one, we're going to lift up the heels, coming high up onto our toes. Little bend in the knees could be super helpful here to help you gauge where your one point of focus is, where you're going to balance from. Take a big breath in. And when you're ready, lower your hips down. Stay high up on your heels. When we're first doing this shape, we're all like shaking the heels want to come down to the floor. So see if you can find a place where maybe the body stays lifted, the heels stay lifted, and then once you're comfortable, you lower the body down. Inhale up, exhale back to your mountain pose. Okay, next week, we will start the leg binding on tree. All right, inhale, bring your arms up overhead. We're gonna do a little chest opener. Exhale, elbows out, lift your chest. Right, arms by your sides. Okay, tree time. So whatever tree you'd like to be today, maybe it's different than your tree last week. Start by grounding your left foot, lift your right heel, and take your knee out to the right. Slide your knee up towards the leg, wherever is it going to go today, right? Maybe you can get a little bit deeper. We did some inner thigh work today, so you may be able to. If you can bring the heel up towards the inner thigh, great. Just no pressure on the knee. Just think of that buzzer sound, like a red X. No. So one or both hands to heart center. Lift up your chest. Squeeze the left thigh. And if you like, have branches. Be whatever tree you want. Remember, they fall over. And they grow back eventually. Deep breath in. With your exhale, release your right foot down. Right foot grounds, lift your left heel, knee out to the left. Slide your heel up, always bypass the knee. Better to stay below the knee than to struggle right above it and create a little pressure there on the joint, right? You want to keep the hips open, tracking the knee open, squeeze the right thigh, arm placement of your choice, and move into your tree. The trees are becoming easy for you. Work on opening up the left leg a little more, lifting up out of the lower back a little more, and maybe you look up. Deep breath in. Exhale and slowly close your pose back to mountain. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, squat and curl. Inhale, looking forward. And with your exhale, lower down to your seat, however you want to get there. Feet to the edge of your mat. Block in between the knees or thighs. Reach your arms forward, lift up your chest. Big breath in. With your exhale, lower back. Of course, please use more support here if you need to lower back. Then use that pelvic floor. Use the core strength to draw the knees into your chest. Move the block out of the way. Give yourself a squeeze. So in this little squeeze, right, what we want to look for is, what's the chin doing? If the chin is up and we can see behind us, we need to tuck the chin or put a pillow under our heads. If our shoulders are up in the air, maybe our head doesn't even touch the floor, then we need to get something going around the arms, like arm extenders, right? So that would be like a scarf, maybe even a sock, right? Something that's just going to give you some space to bring the shoulders down. And then flex both feet. Inhale, let your belly lift. Exhale, pull your knees in. Press your hips down to the floor. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Last one. Inhale. Exhale and pull. And just a little bit of core work. We're just going to do a little bit today. Flex the feet. Reach the fingertips to the toes. Seal up your core. Then lift your head and shoulders off your mat. You can hold it here the whole time or pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On 1, lift up and hold. Lift up 1 more inch, breathing in. Exhale and lower down. Give yourself a hug. Move your head a little side to side. Let go of any tension you collected in your neck after that. And then extend your left leg long. Hang on to your right knee. Flex both feet. So remember, we want this to be active on both sides of the body. A lot of times this left side is left out. So keep kicking down from the left leg. Inhale, belly lifts. Exhale, pull your right knee towards the right side of your body. Keep kicking from your left leg. Inhale. Exhale and pull. 1 more time. Breathe in. Exhale and pull. Release your right foot down. Slide your hips over to the right. Then take your twist. And we slide the hips over so that when we twist, the spine has a better chance of staying in a healthier alignment. So stuff. If you have stuff, use it. If you require stuff, please use it in this twist. Support the knee and the ankle. If you have to pick one, you go for the midline like I'm showing. If I could reach my bolster, I would be using it for the whole area between the knee and the ankle. I did the same thing yesterday. I put my bolster all the way over there. So come back to your center, slide your hips back over, give yourself a hug, make sure everything feels good. You can always rock left and right, up and down, whatever you need to do to reset your spine. And then kick the right leg out, hang on to the left. Flex both feet. Inhale, feel your belly lift up. Exhale, pull your left knee towards the left side of your body. And keep it in alignment with your hips, not on the exterior. Inhale. Exhale and pull. Kick from that right leg. One more time. Breathe in. Exhale and pull. Left foot grounds. Slide your hips over. Take your twist. When you're ready, roll back to your center. Slide your hips back over. Press down from the feet. Squeeze the glutes and lift your tailbone just a little bit so that you feel realigned when you bring your back and your butt back down to the floor. Soles of the feet touch. Let your knees fall open. And if you need support here, this is like the posture where I just scream support at everyone because it's really one that can affect you later on in your day. So, and you might not realize it because when you're in it, it feels good, right? But if you feel sore later on in your lower back and in your thighs, it's probably coming from this shape. So just give yourself support. Put something underneath the thighs. Engage your pelvic floor. Press into your feet and slowly begin to bring your knees together. And then let the knees draw in towards each other and the feet kind of heel toe out. My long legs are tall. So the feet have to go beyond the edge of my mat. You may not have the same experience, but if you are not comfortable in this shape, try widening your stance just a little bit more or moving one leg down at a time. And if you still aren't comfortable, just don't do it. Hips are a funny thing. Hips are not the same for everybody, that's for sure. Okay, so walk your feet back in towards your body. Bring your knees in, give yourself one last big hug. Hopefully now you can feel that your lower back is a little bit more flexible and more able to ground to the floor. And then bring your feet down and set up for our final shape, Shavasana. Corpse pose. Heels in, toes out. Palms up. I like to squeeze the shoulder blades in to lift the chest and then let it go. And same with the hips. Rock a little side to side. Squeeze those glutes. Feel the hip bones lift and then let it go. Closing your eyes. And practicing this posture with the same focus you would others, except the focus is on doing nothing and getting your body to relax. So the total opposite of what we've been doing. If it's time for you to go, I totally understand. Thank you so much. Otherwise, we'll come up to our seats and formally end class in just a minute or so. Deep breath in. Your slowest breath out. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. When you're ready, maybe you take a stretch before you come up to your seat, whatever you like. I'll meet you there. Coming up to a seat that's comfortable for you. Lifting up your chest. Flip your palms to up. Index finger, thumb together. Point the rest of your fingertips down best you can. Take a big breath in. Let your belly expand. Through your nose, a forceful, energetic exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Take a moment to breathe normal. Palms together, center of your chest. If you created an intention for your practice this morning, maybe take a moment to consider that here before we end our practice. Otherwise, give yourself a compliment and thank your body for what it's capable of today. Thank you so much for practicing with me, and namaste.